We understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here to Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket for another edition here this week as we chat about the Lincoln Stars, the red-hot Lincoln Stars, winners of 19 of their last 21 games, top of the USHL, top of the Western Conference, and continuing that push toward the playoffs. They've already locked up a playoff spot, but this team has higher aspirations in mind, trying to lock up the Anderson Cup, and then hopefully after that, the Clark Cup. Joined in the studio today by assistant coach Ross Kovacs, filling in tonight for Rocky Russo. And Ross, happy to have you here with us. We were just talking about a moment ago. It's been a little while since the last time you were on, but frankly, it was probably similar temperatures to what we've had right now, a little in that in between, right?
Yeah, I think it's been about maybe October, November was the last time I was on here. So it was probably one of the first times I was on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, happy to have you back here, and happy after what an interesting weekend for you guys where you dealt with some adversity with last Thursday's game against Sioux City, but it was something that felt like you never want to lose, but sometimes it can send the right message. And you guys sure responded in a great way after Thursday's loss last week, the 7-2 clinic last Friday at Sioux City with a few penalties in between. And then last Saturday's very exciting playoff-like win at the Icebox against Waterloo. How much did you guys learn from last Thursday's loss that maybe just refired up the group and gave them that extra kick that maybe they needed?
Yeah, I think the guys in general, obviously on Thursday it wasn't the outcome they wanted, but Friday in Sioux City, I think we kind of got our act together, and then obviously when the games is physical or there's the special teams matchup, I think it favors us. So it definitely worked out in our favor. And then Saturday was a good test for us against Waterloo, and we took them. You know, we were up for most of the game, and then we ended up going into overtime. But again, it's a good way for our team to realize there's different ways to win games, right? We're not always going to beat a team 7-2, and we're going to be in those tight games down the stretch, and we need to learn how to win those games.
And for those who missed it, of course, last Thursday at home against Sioux City, great start, 3-goal first period, felt like the recipe for success pretty much since coming back from Christmas, and then a tough finish. Gave up 1 goal in the second, and then 3 in the third period, ended up losing that one 4-3. But as mentioned, the next night in Sioux City last Friday, a 7-2 triumph. 7 different goal scores for me was the fun part about that I liked, is that everyone was producing. Everyone who put the puck on net seemed like they were finding a way to help be a part of that one. And then last Saturday, I mean, where do you start with that game? That one, I mean, everyone was excited for that. I think there was a lot of hype heading into that week of, yeah, we're playing Sioux City twice. That's good. They're in playoff positioning, but Waterloo's in there. And you've been in this small time for you with the Stars this season. I'm sure you felt the intensity of that rivalry. It felt like all 4 times we played the Blackhawks this regular season, it felt like a playoff matchup, and it was just some great hockey between both teams.
100%. I think the last time when we went to Waterloo and we played them twice, the first game I can't remember, it was close, and then the second one, obviously, I believe it was a shootout winner for us. So yeah, and then Saturday was was much of the same of those two games. It was a tight game, and yeah, it was awesome. The atmosphere, the fans. Can't remember how many people there were, 3,500, 3,800 people. So it was awesome to see the icebox like that. So.
It was so fun, and it felt like everyone was on the edge of their seat. I mean, both times Lefty had those breakaways. It's just there's that beautiful moment in hockey on the breakaway where everyone's just thinking, okay, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? And then he did it both times. And I remember saying on the second goal, I was like, all right, he did it once, he's gonna do it again, and then he did. I mean, backhand that time. It was just Lefty's had a few chances on breakaways this year, and he's done a really nice job.
Yeah, he's kind of got that breakaway speed. He's a fast player in general, but he's got a nice, powerful stride. So when he gets a step or two on somebody and he's got daylight, he can take off. So it's tough to catch him.
It's crazy when he's on your technically fourth line and he has 15 goals. He's tied with Matt Malte, team captain, with 15 goals. That's a first line left winger. And then your fourth line, sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes center. The fourth line has been so interchangeable in a good way because there's been a lot of good pieces to put in. I mean, Ross, this team runs 4 lines deep. And there are nights where we saw it a few weeks ago against Omaha, fourth line scored 3 goals. There's some nights where the Malte, Loomer, Picard veteran line, they take over like they did all of January. And then there's stretches more recently where we've seen that DeJulian, Oliver, and Egan line just find a way to net several nights. And then, oh, wait a second. You've also got to defend Daniel Schlein, Hunter Anderson, and Alex Pelletier. Yeah. It's a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams playing the Lincoln Stars.
Yeah, it shows our depth, and obviously guys like Lefty and even Kohansky and Jan, some of those guys that play on quote unquote the lower line. I mean, they're able to pop up in that, and they can play in that top 6 role if you need them to when we have injuries or we have guys out. So it's a testament to them of sticking with it and working hard, and it's good to see them get rewarded lately.
It's been fun to see that. And I love that when those guys who you can tell they're having to put in the work and maybe they're in and out of the lineup at times. Darian Anderson, he was dealing with some injuries. He had some big plays. I mean, that's that feed on the one goal. I'm trying to remember. He set up Cade on last Friday. Yeah. He almost set up a Janzi right before that on the 2-on-1. Didn't work, but he stuck with the play. And it was really nice.
He when he was coming down, he like turned his blade and he almost gave like I thought maybe it wasn't, but it was like a toe drag pass across the crease. So I believe it was going to Jans, and Jans it bobbled or whatever, it got knocked away, and then it ended up going to Kohansky and he ended up putting it away. It was a fantastic goal, and it was something where Darian, he's got that skill, but you don't always see it. But it was good to see him do something like that. So
his forecheck and his reason we call him Danimal, right? He's the Danimal for a reason. fun to watch him get back in the lineup. 402-464-5685, the telephone number. If you want to be part of the show, Joel Norman, joined by Ross Kovacs, Stars assistant coach. You can call us at that number or text us again, 402-464-5685. 2 games this weekend, but it's really another 3-game weekend, Ross, because we go to Omaha Friday, home with Cedar Rapids on Saturday, off day Sunday, quote unquote off day, because Monday Fargo comes to town. How are you guys handling this weekend compared to how you did last weekend, where we had 3 games in 3 days? It was the home, away, home. This weekend, away, but I mean, not really that far with Omaha, and then home, off day, home. Sunday, will you guys skate? Is that a day off? Is there maybe just a quick team meeting that day? How will that work?
I think it depends. I mean, I'm sure with how it's lined up with that extra day off, I'm sure we'll do something, whether it's coming in or getting the guys moving or getting on the ice. We'll do something on Sunday, but we'll try to treat it as like it was this past weekend, right? Then again, moving down the stretch, we kind of want to give our guys some rest, not every day, but give them a day or 2 off as we get closer to the playoffs here. So
that's got to be the
game 50.
Yeah, so. we are right there. I think there's 10 games left in the regular season. So we've done, what is that, technically 52 then. I always forget whether it's 62 or 60.
I think you're right. I think it's 62
games.
Yeah,
so we're at game 52, and it's here we go. I mean, this is it. We're a month from now. We're going to be settling and probably sitting back and seeing who our second round opponent's going to be, hoping to get that first round bye. Obviously, still a lot of work to do with 10 games left, but if the pace continues, get that first round bye and sit and watch and see what happens after that. And obviously, that you've seen it before in this league, Ross, when you coach with Madison, you know that first round bye is so important if you have Clark Cup aspirations.
Yeah, I think just like I said, like you've played 62 games, and to be able to give kind of a little bit of a rest or a recharge for your guys down the stretch is big. And then again, it gives us as a staff time to kind of prepare and focus on who we're playing. So
It's going to be interesting this weekend with the 3 different teams to prepare for. Now, for those who aren't familiar, you and Art, our other assistant coach, Art Bry, you guys do a lot of that video work, preparing for these opponents as well. Rocky involved, all 3 of you guys collaboratively do a lot of that. And it's one of those things where I know you guys will, some games, hey, you'll take care of this, or I'll do this week. It's an interesting thing to tackle. I would imagine it's even more difficult in a week like this with 3 different opponents.
Yeah, it can be kind of tough, but I think just having, if there was just one of us, it would be extremely difficult. But the fact that the 3 of us kind of split it up and we sort it out between the 3 of us, it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, like one of us will take, Omaha, the other one will take Cedar Rapids, and then Fargo, and then 2 we'll kind of break it down too after next day, game by game. So makes it easy.
And it's going to be interesting because it's 3 very different opponents.
Yeah.
It really feels like you have Omaha. We know the struggles. And for those who missed it, they did snap that 30-game losing skid last Saturday in overtime against Tri-City. You get Cedar Rapids, who they're fighting for that playoff life at the bottom of the picture in the Eastern Conference standings, which we've had a lot of success against the Eastern Conference. And then you go back to facing Fargo, who we just saw a few weeks ago, who we've seen how they had their struggles that first night against us on the Friday game. The Saturday, that was one of the more unbelievable third periods against us, next to what Sioux City did the next weekend as well. So going to be 3 different challenges, though.
I think all 3 teams they have some skill, but they're also very physical, and it kind of gets us ready into that playoff mentality. Like, hey, this again, they're probably going to be tight scoring games, so it kind of leads up into the end of the season and then going into the playoffs of what to expect for us. So
let's head over to the lines here right now. We've got a text in on our phone lines. Remember, you can text us at 402-464-5685. Harrison, who we got?
Yeah, we got a couple of them here. The first one for Ross: with the end of high school season and AAA season winding down, will Stars fans see any affiliate players come in for the end of season and playoff run?
That's a fan who's done their homework.
Yeah, I believe we'll have maybe 1 or 2. Obviously, we have our guys that have stuck around the whole season, have put in the work and stuff. So we want to kind of keep them going and keep them buzzing. But I think we will have 1 or 2. I can't say for sure, but
absolutely. And then we got another one. This one from Chase B. In the Anderson Cup, that's just the regular season champ, right? He wants to know, what is the earliest the Stars could possibly clinch the Anderson Cup?
Well, the magic number right now, for those who are wondering, it's 16. So the magic number is based on points. So that's something with each win the Stars get, they get closer to clinching it. With each loss by the nearby teams to them in the standings, they also get closer. So right now, if you want the Stars to win the Anderson Cup, which if you're tuned in, I would assume 90% of you want that to happen, unless you might be a coach with another team. I know a few of them do tune in, so shout out to whoever they might be. I've been told that a few times from times when I get the line charts. But if you are a Stars fan, you're wanting that number 16 to decrease, you got to be rooting for the Dubuque Fighting Saints to lose some games to help speed up that process a little bit. Dubuque is the next closest team in the standings to the Stars, and winning the Anderson Cup would certainly be nice. It's not everything. It's, I always joke, it is the bigger of the 2 cups, but there's a little more weight to winning the Clark Cup for sure. So that is a fun thing to watch here down the stretch. But Ross, I want to go back to the question about the affiliates, because you got a chance last week to do a little bit of scouting. You got to go up to the Minnesota State hockey tournament, which is a spectacle. For people who are not aware of that, I think if you're a hockey fan, that's something I'd never gone, but from what it's seen, it's a bucket list thing to someday be able to watch that. First off, what was the experience like? Because that place is always packed for the games. And who were maybe a few Stars affiliates, guys who are already on our protected list, who you were kind of enjoying watching?
Yeah, so they split it up. They have 2 class systems up there. They have single A and double A. So like Wednesday, the tournament starts, and it's all the single A teams, which are like the lower, the teams with the smaller enrollment, and then the double A teams are the teams with the higher enrollment for their schools. So I went Wednesday and Thursday. Trying to think. So for the single A Cathedral, St. Cloud Cathedral, there was Hirschfeld, and then Griffin Sturm, both affiliates, and then Shakopee, there was Nate Pedersen, and then Lakeville South, there was Will Horton. Okay. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm trying to think. I think there was one other kid from Andover, AJ Sauer, and then one more, Casey Vandertop from Medina. All of them, actually, I was pretty impressed. I've kind of known their names because I'm familiar with Minnesota hockey, so it's not the first time I've been at the state tournament, but they all performed pretty well, and it's exciting to see that because it's kind of cool to look towards the future.
All those names, or if you're a Stars fan, those were a lot of guys who were picked in the futures portion of last year's USHL draft, which literally if you just Google Lincoln Stars 2024 USHL draft, you'll see those names. But Hirschfeld and Pedersen are guys who fans got a taste of earlier this season. Hirschfeld was kind of that fourth line center for the first 2.5-ish months of the season, went to go play high school hockey, and then him and Sturm actually ended up being runners up. They almost had a chance to get a state title, but had a pretty good tournament too.
I think they ended up winning. I thought they won it last year. They were both good. Obviously, Hirschfeld, he can move. He's shifty. He can shoot the puck. He's kind of an undersized forward, but he doesn't let that kind of get in his way of his physicality.
He works. Yeah, we saw that here.
Griffin Sturm, he's a defenseman, but he can skate. He's got really good movement. He can see the ice really well. So again, it's exciting to see him. And then Pedersen, he's much of the same. He's a combination of those two, and he works really, really hard. And I mean, Hirschfeld's an 06, but the other two are 08s. And seeing those younger guys kind of just how talented they are, it's exciting for the future. So
it's really neat to get that chance to, I would imagine, just step away for a moment and do that scouting. Yeah, what's that like when you're scouting? How do you? I don't think it's something. A lot of people see the scout role and they think, "Well, that sounds fun," regardless of the sport. For you, what is that? Is that just going and trying to have those conversations with those guys after games, or what do you like to do?
I think it's just a lot of evaluating. Obviously, Nick Fabrizio and Rocky do a really good job of identifying the talent and then going and watching. And then obviously Rocky during the season, he's not able to do much of that just because he's obviously here coaching. But Nick and him collaborate, and whether it's the off season and they look at players and they do a really good job. So yeah. But for me personally, it's just I love the evaluation part. I love watching whoever it is, the players, and that was a really fun, entertaining state tournament to go up and watch. And like you said, there's obviously a bunch of people who go watch and enjoy it themselves. So
yeah, it had to be a fun experience, I would imagine, doing that. But then jumping right back in and joining the Stars again, really fun opportunity to do that as well. I didn't get a chance to bring it up earlier, but taking on Omaha to start this weekend on Friday, 7-0 against them this season. They have 7 wins, for what it's worth, just to mention that. They have 7 wins. The Stars are 7-0, so take that as you want. But also, you guys have done a really good job of not underestimating any opponent this season, which at this age group level, it's understandable, and it's something that does happen. But you guys, credit to you guys, how you Rocky, Art, how you prepared the guys. That has not been an issue with Omaha. What's the messaging going into a game like this where, again, we know they've been struggling. Everyone sees the record. The losing streak is pretty common knowledge. What do you guys say, though, to say it doesn't matter? None of that matters. It's just we have to take care of business tonight.
I mean, I think a lot of it is the players, right? Like we obviously have bigger goals in mind and reminding them of that. And then too, just as an athlete and as a competitor, right? You want to win all the time. It doesn't matter who you're playing, or it shouldn't matter who you're playing. And I think we have a lot of guys in that room that are like that. So that only helps. And then too, with the leadership part, right? Our captains, our assistant captains, they do a very good job of making sure everybody's prepared. Everybody's, their mindset is right heading into the game. So
it's worked out every time against Omaha so far. If they can get a win this Friday, this would be the first time ever in the 29 season head-to-head rivalry sweeping a series against them. So that would be awesome. It's crazy. I was just looking at that the other day just to check the record against every team. The only team who we have a 500 or worse record against, who we've played, in conference, Sioux City, 3-3 against them this season. They were an interesting matchup because there were some games where we saw it this past Saturday, or last Friday, in control. There was chippiness. We got the win that one. There were other nights, though, they were really close games against them. When we went there, or they came here. It was an interesting opponent this season who we might see again in the postseason.
Yeah, I think just offensively, I think they have the same depth as we have. I mean, not to say that their defense, they have good defense too. They've made some trades to kind of pick up their back end, and they have good goaltending too. So the makeup of their team is similar to ours. And I think too, those 2 games, or the 6 we've played against them this year, have all been playoff type of games, right? So yeah, I think just the firepower that we have and the firepower they have is pretty similar, and that's what makes those games so close, and that's why our record is 3-3 versus them.
Yeah, it's interesting looking and seeing, hey, right where they are in the standings, it's them and Fargo kind of trading spots. And again, if everything ended today, they're playing each other in the first round, and then we're playing the winner. of that. So to me, that's been the nice thing recently. We saw Fargo a couple weeks ago. We see them again Monday. It's been nice to wonder, like, is this really the last time we're going to see these teams this year? Because we might be seeing them in a few weeks in the Clark Cup playoffs. One of the other questions things I wanted to bring up with you a couple of weeks ago for fans who missed this, one of the games in Fargo on that Saturday game, we had an interesting sequence in the game late at the end of a power play. We're in the midst of a line change, something you don't always see in hockey, but it was one of those cool only in hockey moments where we were in the midst of a line change, changing out power play personnel, and we had 5 skaters on the ice, 5-on-4 power play. On the line change, a little confusion, only ended up with 4 players out there. You noticed it. You put up your hands and you're saying 4-4. So Nick Young hops off of the bench, glides into the attacking zone. Next thing you know, he gets the puck and scores. That was, like I said, that's one of those fun, only in hockey types of moments. Tell me about what that was like, because that's got to be such a cool feeling for you guys as a staff for a second there where you're going like, oh my gosh, wait a second here. But then, it actually ended up working out okay.
I think at times, obviously, like Rocky and Art, they're dealing with the line changes and everything, right? And they're focused on what we're doing, and I have a chance to at least watch the whole game in entirety. I don't have to worry about, okay, like who needs to go up next. I mean, that's I let them handle that, and that's what they do. But yeah, that's kind of what I was able to, as I was watching, I noticed. And then too, I think some of the guys kind of fell asleep. Somebody did, I think, come change, and they just no one ever hopped out. So I was yelling, and Younger, he heard me and he hopped out there and he went straight to the net. Good on him. And he ended up getting rewarded for it. So
you see a lot of those instances where a guy hops out of the penalty box at the right time, breakout pass finds them, they score.
Yeah.
You don't see too many of those right off the bench because you realize you were down a skater and then go down and score either.
If anything, it kind of benefited us because, right, like Fargo, the team we were playing was so focused on the puck and where that was at, they didn't have time to be like, oh, they only have 4 guys or they only have 5, so it was, it kind of benefited us that somebody changed and didn't come on right away. That allowed that space to open up and Younger to take advantage of it. So,
yeah, and that was an exciting moment. Younger getting that goal. Stars ended up winning that one. And as we mentioned, rolling right now, wins in 19 of the last 21 games, 38-13-1 this season. We mentioned it in 5 weeks from now, Clark Cup playoffs are here, and the regular season schedule is winding down very fast. So, of the remaining 10 games, 6 of those are at home. So if you haven't come out to a game of the Icebox yet, please make sure you do. This Saturday is a good reason to. It's $2 night at the Icebox. We're doing $2 tall boys for Michelob Ultra, or beg your pardon, PBR, and Busch Light for that game, as well as popcorn, $2 for that one. And then coming up on Monday, taking on the Fargo Force for St. Patrick's Day. Ross, I got a peek at those jerseys today from Corey Courtney, the ones he designed. They are sharp.
He showed me too. They are.
Those are
awesome.
Yeah, he did a great job with those ones. We're going to be auctioning those off soon too, but lots to look forward to here with the Lincoln Stars coming up with a lot of big games around the corner here. Ross, for you, first season in Lincoln, this has been obviously a great first campaign to be part of with an organization with the success that you guys have had. Have you had a favorite moment, a game, anything this season so far that has really stood out to you?
I mean, I think just the whole season in general has been really enjoyable for me. I think just being able to work with, obviously, Art and Rocky, getting to know them on a day-to-day basis. We spend a lot of time together, obviously, with being at the rink all the time together, and then too, just being able to work with the players. I don't think there's one like memory or moment of the season that I can be like, oh, that's been my favorite. I think just in general, it's been really enjoyable to show up to work every day and work with Rocky and Art, and then work obviously with the players too.
I was gonna say the cohesiveness that you guys have as a coaching staff is obvious, and the success on the ice and whatnot. But it's got to be nice for you jumping into that and being like, hey, this is a really good group to be part of, from the coaching staff down to the players.
100%. Obviously, we've got different personalities, but we mesh really well. And then too, obviously with 25, 26 guys, all different personalities, everybody seems to mesh really well and care for each other. So it's like one big family.
Absolutely. Still time to get your texts in, 402-464-5685. Harrison, we got one right now?
Yeah, this one from BA in Lincoln wants to know, did Ross get the apple in the game pick of a Younger's goal?
Rocky did mention that afterwards on Coach's comments. He said, give an assist to Ross on that one. And you don't always hear that. You don't always have that opportunity. But
I did not, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine with me. So
we got the result we needed that night, right? So that was the most important thing. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, Tim Gray from the Lincoln Journal-Star is going to be joining us. as we continue to chat Lincoln Stars hockey. Ross, thank you for joining us, and we'll see if we get another one before the season ends.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outside the Box.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, 4-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R. When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over $10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
It may not feel like it, but planting season is on its way, and now's the time to upgrade your equipment with a late model John Deere planter from Acres Equipment. Acres has an entire lineup of John Deere planters equipped with the latest technology to ensure planting accuracy throughout your field. And to get you up and going, each planter purchased from Acres includes in-field startup support from one of our Precision Ag professionals. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Visit your local Acres for details. Offer expires April 30th, 2025.
When you get the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime you work out. And now through March 13th, get your first month free when you join. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage. And do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get your first month free and all the perks of the PF Black Card for just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends March 13th. See Club for details.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey. Joel Norman joined by Lincoln Stars beat reporter for the Lincoln Journal-Star, Tim Gray, as we get set for this weekend. 3 games in 4 days for the Stars and 2 home games, including that stretch. Hope to see you at the Icebox Saturday for $2 night against the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at 6 o'clock. That's a game where we're going to have PBR and Busch Light Tall Boys for $2, as well as popcorn for $2 all game long. And then coming up on Monday, the Stars' St. Patrick's Day game as they take on the Fargo Force at 7:05 on March 17th. And they'll be wearing specialty St. Patrick's Day jerseys for that game. Beautiful green look. Got a look at those earlier today. You won't want to miss those, and your chance to bid on those coming up as well around the corner. Tim, happy to have you here with us here. It's been a little bit since we last had you on. First time, I think, in person.
First time in this building.
Yeah.
The last time was on 48th, so.
That's right. Yeah, but here we are
downtown
in the studio. I keep wanting to call it new because it feels new. Harrison can attest to that. It's got that, especially compared to before, it still has that new feel. It's been a little while now, but getting very comfortable here as well. And Tim, we're heading into a fun stretch of the season. 10 games left before the Clark Cup playoffs get here. Stars top of the USHL, 38-13-1, wins at 19 of the last 21 games. In recent memory, this is, and you've been covering the team for quite a little bit here, this is a heck of a season. And this is a chance to be right up there as one of the best in franchise history.
I was thinking about that the last couple of days. This is probably the best season I've seen covering the Stars. There was one other year, I think it was, Chris Hartsburg's last year, because you talked about never a sweep against Omaha. I think they went 7-1-1 against them that year. And he played for Omaha, was going to get T-shirts for it and all that stuff. But they had a stretch where they started off hot, finished second in the West. But I mean, this year it's just everything the Stars do is top to bottom is legit. So, I mean, it's a really special year for Lincoln.
It's been so fun to watch and trying to chase the Anderson Cup, which is such an elusive thing to get because only one team can get that. And it's a season-long goal where just as the Clark Cup is, but sometimes a team can get hot in the postseason, and there's merit to winning both in so many ways. And like we said, it's been a while since either of those trophies has been here, but there is a feel to this team that there is at least a deep playoff run in store, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can feel it in the Icebox game in and game out. Like you've seen the crowds, you've been a part of them. We talked about it earlier with the Icebox can feel full with 2,000, but it's special when you've got 4,200 in there, and they're all there for the same reason as watching the Stars play whoever they're playing, and it's just electric when they win.
We're trying to pull it up because you and I were talking about this recently. Teams to win both the Anderson and the Clark Cup. There it is. Because I remember I looked this up a couple of years ago, and since 2020, it's been done twice. 2020, 2021, Chicago Steel, and then, of course, last season, the Fargo Force. There's actually been a lot of interesting stretches in the league's history where a team has won both.
Yeah.
So it's something that it's not frequent, but it is fairly common. We'll put it that way, that it has happened and it can happen. So that's something I think for fans, there's always the running joke in the NHL. The team wins the President's Trophy, never wins the Stanley Cup. Yep. But in this league, it has been shown sometimes that it is. And I think the biggest reason why is that first round bye.
Yep.
We saw this 2 years ago, Tim, where this team did not have a first round bye, and it was a great team, just missed out on it. got to the conference finals, but just felt like they ran out of gas. And understandably, with how many playoff games they were playing in a quick span.
Yeah, I think if you win the Anderson Cup, you get to that point where you got to win your first matchup. You win your first matchup, then it's kind of game on. But yeah, just those last couple of years, I think both were here against Fargo in the playoffs.
2 years ago against Fargo. Last year lost to Sioux City.
Yeah, and you could tell it in that Fargo series too. That series could have gone either way. And I mean, it just both teams kind of ran out of gas. Obviously, Fargo went on, but it's just you got to go through a whole season of staying consistent, not injured, having guys step up, role players step up, and if you have that, you can go all the way pretty easily.
Absolutely. Stars have a magic number of 16 to win the Anderson Cup, chasing that down with 10 games remaining in the regular season, 6 of those at home. Looks like we got a couple of texts coming in. Also, plenty of time for you to be part of the show. Text us 402-464-5685. Harrison, you said we had a couple?
Yeah, we got a couple here. First one, this one from Gino, asking about media coverage, saying that the Stars are back on live radio, ticket TV stations are back out to cover. Essentially wants to know if the Lincoln Journal-Star as well are going to have some more regular coverage for the Lincoln Stars.
Yeah, coming into playoffs, obviously, like every media thing, the Journal or shorter staffs, but with everything going on, you kind of have to press the issue and be put where you're at. But when it comes to playoffs, that's where I'll be. So
absolutely. And then absolutely give him a follow on Twitter if that's what you're looking for. And the next one, unknown texter, 2-part question. The Stars are red hot, but what do you think is the Stars' biggest weakness? And what team out there do you feel could play spoiler? And that's actually from Jordan in Lincoln.
How about that one? That's BA's daughter. BA is one of our photographers, so got to give a shout out to both of them. BA had a question earlier as well, so I know he's listening. Tim, what do you think of that biggest weakness for the Stars right now?
Biggest weakness, I would say, is honestly themselves. I was talking to Rocky earlier. I was like, you look at their losses; they don't stack losses. They lose a game, they come back, bounce back, pick up a win, but I mean, if they can continue that and not get in their heads and let the pressure get to them, I really think you're going to get everybody's best matchup. You saw it against Fargo. That's probably one opponent I'd look out for, because those 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds, they're all kind of similar when it comes to playoff time. But as long as Lincoln can kind of battle themselves, and Rocky even told me earlier today, he's not looking for results. Day one was the process. If they can stay on the process, that's what they're looking for. And if they can stay on that process, I think they'll be okay.
We're starting to do that thing in recent weeks where we look at who the potential matchups could be in the postseason. And again, season ends today. Stars are playing the first round they're the top seed. They would face the winner of the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. Best of 3 game series, higher seed hosts all 3 games. It's easy to say on paper. You look at Sioux City, split the season series against them. That could be an interesting opponent, but did win pretty convincingly, of course, last Friday at Sioux City. I think Waterloo is the toughest matchup for the Stars right now. Sioux Falls has had some moments where that's been right there. I just think that some of these games with Waterloo, I mean, shut them out mid-October, 3-0. They had over 40 shots in that game. They dominated the final 2 periods, and they couldn't get a goal because Shostak was a brick wall in that game. This past week, I mean, they held the Stars to 2 shots is what all Lincoln was credited with on last Saturday in front of 3,800 fans in their own barn. And Waterloo could have won that game in regulation, go to overtime, penalty shots the difference. Won a game there in a shootout as well. They are technically 1-1, 1-1 against us this year. We went 3-1 against them. But 2 games that went beyond regulation. Waterloo, to me, is that team in the Western Conference, I think, is the scariest opponent in a lot of ways. No disrespect to anyone else. I just think that that's a tough matchup, and it's 2 very even teams, and I really like their goaltending tandem, Cam Hendrickson and Calvin Vachon.
Do you think the venue is a factor there? Because it's the Olympic-sized ice, and
Absolutely.
whenever other players come back, they say it's a nice rink, but the ice is so much bigger. You have so much more room. Waterloo always has speed. You come to the ice box, it's smaller, more compact, but everyone always talks about how big that sheet of ice is.
I have so much adjustment with that where it can be an issue some years. And it's in a way that the playing field seems to even itself in the postseason when guys have played there, where it's one thing if it's your first game of the year there, they have the home ice advantage. And most years, at least since I've been here the last 3 years, The first game we've gone to Waterloo, we've lost all 3 years. Because, again, it's an adjustment for a lot of those guys. You go from your normal rink, the funky caroms of home, and then there's different bounces on that rink on the road, the Olympic sheet, a little bit more space. But after that, guys adjust. They make shorter shifts. They make the most of the shifts. You see the way the wall play changes as well. So I think that's something that can come with time as well. But Tim, I wanted to ask you about this one. The Stars offense lately, we've been talking about how they're going to break their single season record for goals here this season. They're getting really, really close to doing that. I think it's right now 11 goals away from doing so. I had to double check the number specifically. But you go into this week, and the fourth line has had some changing players. So you really look at those top 3 lines for the Stars and just the ability those guys have had to score at will. When you look at those, which line do you find maybe the most difficult for another team to face of those top 3?
I think it's whatever line's out there first, because how many games in the last, 10 or 15 games, the Lincoln scored in the first 2 minutes of regulation? You know, Jack Bakar's done it. Dashiell Oliver's done it. I think it's whatever line starts out first is the one you got to look out for.
I was looking at that earlier today, and it's fascinating the way this team has been able to score first in games, especially Pakar, who I went really, it was really interesting. Minute 9 seconds of the game last Thursday. It was the 4th time in 6 games at that time he had scored the game's first goal. His 7th time this season scoring the game's first goal. He had a game against Omaha, February 20th, scored 25 seconds in, quickest goal of the season for the Stars. But the amazing thing with Pakar, of those 7 times scoring the game's first goal, 5 of them have come in the opening 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
It's crazy because I'll check Twitter and see you tweet out that Pakar scored, and I'm like, it's 7:08, and it's
just started.
But you get that fast start, but then you have guys like mid game with Bruno and Dashiell and Loomer, and it kind of continues where Pakar can put up a quick one, and the next thing you know, another guy has 3 points that night. So
yeah, it's been so fun seeing that since Stars have scored first each of the last 6 games, 11 of the last 12. They're 31-3-1 when scoring first, and last gave up the game's first goal February 15th, a month ago. Last time they gave up the first goal in a game, and that's only one of their 2 losses since that date as well. So really remarkable. But looking at those 3 lines, though, I mean, when you see that as an opposing coach, which one do you think you're circling and being like, gosh, like this is the one, this is the matchup nightmare for us here tonight?
Can you full circle one and half circle another?
Give me one you look at and you go, boy, right now, especially that one's the one that's hard to stop.
I think it's got to be the Pakar line.
Mhm.
It's got to be, it has to be, because they can score at will and they can score in bunches. And before you know it, I don't know how many times I've seen it where it's, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 within 5 minutes of time. And they just, there's always that tone setter line that just gets things going, and it's usually whatever line you kind of go up there without first.
They had that dominant month of January where they were really, really in a good groove. Malte hit a little bit of a tough stretch in terms of point production. It's been similar hockey. It's just different results recently. Loomer's been battling some injuries, so we saw maybe the point production not be there, but Pakar's right there, top 5 in the league in points and goals. It's been fun to watch. I was looking at those 3-line combos too. I found this really interesting, Tim. Of Stars line combinations with at least 140 minutes together, the Egan, DeJulian, Oliver line leads the way with an expected goals for of 2.39. Expected goals against, also best in that group, 0.52. So the most effective offensively, but also defensively. And I think part of the reason why is all 3 of those guys have over 20 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny because on your depth chart, Egan, DeJulian, Oliver is your 3rd line. But that probably, at least statistically, is the most potent.
Yeah, well, you kind of expect if the goals expected for, you think the goals against would be less, because they contain possession in the offensive zone, so that gives less time of the other team in the your defensive zone before you get off the ice. So, I mean, it's just, I was thinking about this today when I stayed for the entirety of practice, where they had the little fun Husker football stuff, all got into the mindset of practice, and they did a little 3-on-3, and I'm like, there was a tough stretch of yawn stopping pucks, but I'm like, I mean, what do you do when you're kind of good in all 3 phases? Like, how do you practice for that? Because your offense can score, your defense can stop pucks, your goaltenders can stop pucks, I mean, where do you kind of nitpick of where you need to improve?
Yeah, I think one thing, power play only had the one goal last weekend. Penalty kill had some tough moments, but you're right though. It's you almost have to really look at everything in a microcosm. As okay, last game, what was an issue? We're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we'll wrap things up here. It's Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey on 93.7 The Ticket.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It may not feel like it, but planting season is on its way, and now's the time to upgrade your equipment with a late model John Deere planter from Acres Equipment. Acres has an entire lineup of John Deere planters equipped with the latest technology to ensure planting accuracy throughout your field. And to get you up and going, each planter purchased from Acres includes in-field startup support from one of our Precision Ag professionals. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Visit your local Acres for details. Offer expires April 30th, 2025.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Buffalo Wings and Rings today on 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy with an afternoon high around 59. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, below around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with calm winds and an afternoon high around 71. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again one last time here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by our guest here tonight, sports writer for the Lincoln Journal-Star, Tim Gray, as we head into this final stretch of the season for the Lincoln Stars. Just 10 games left for them. They are top of the USHL, the best record, trying to get a first-round bye and hoping to bring the Clark Cup home here to Lincoln. And, Tim, heading into this final stretch here for the Stars, a lot of fun games coming up here. Have you had a game this season that's really stood out that really was, an exciting moment or just a fun night at the Icebox?
Yeah, I think we talked about it, and I think it was one of your least favorite games because it was the Omaha matchup. Obviously, Omaha, like you talked about, everybody knew the struggles and stuff, but to me, there's no better matchup that I've, been a part of where it's just, I go back to 96 when I was a kid and all those. It's just a different atmosphere when the Lancers are in the Icebox.
Which game stood out the most to you with the end?
With Omaha?
Yeah, we've had 7 so far.
It's probably the one where they dressed, I think, was it 14 or 15? They kind of came in.
That would have been the February 7th, the 6-1 win.
I think, no, it was, I think Omaha scored 3. Or maybe that was in the following game.
Well, the next one we played them was at them. We won 7-2. There were a few that month. That was Omaha came again February 22nd, 4-0 shutout. So either way, some exciting ones.
One of the I think it was the first sellout. It was one of the first sellouts of the.
That would have been February 7th.
Yep.
Was that first sellout of the year. And then we had the other one February 22nd. Crowds have been great. Stars fans have been incredible. That's something. If you're listening, thank you guys down the stretch here. It's been amazing. Team has always brought up how much just of an effect that has and just the home ice advantage that it really provides. And last Saturday, a really special game with that 3-2 win in overtime. Felt like it was in a shootout since it was a penalty shot that won it, but it was in overtime.
I've got a question for you, Joel. How does that kind of affect you as a broadcaster when the crowd's going to be bigger? Does it amp your preparation?
It's everything you dream of when calling.
Yeah.
You want to have that amazing atmosphere. You want it to have it feel like it's game 7 of a Stanley Cup final equivalent. You want to have, that's for me, it's every time the Icebox has over 2,000 people. It has that big game feel. So I mentioned the players, I feel it. So I love that. I love when the Icebox is packed. I don't think anyone has a home ice advantage, not being biased at all. Like, no one has a home ice advantage like the Stars do when they've got that place full, because the way that building just echoes and the old barn and the way these new facilities kind of bring in the sound a little bit and tamper it, the Icebox doesn't. And, 3,000 feels like 6,000. So it's always fun.
It's funny you mentioned that because when I was at practice earlier, it's so different when nobody's in the stands.
Absolutely.
There was a puck that hit the glass and I thought the glass shattered because it sounds so different when the puck hits the glass and there's nobody in the
Yeah,
stands.
it's a really good point. Looks like we have one last text to sneak in here. If you still got time, 402-464-5685. Who we got, Harrison?
This one from Jay. The question for Tim here: who are the top 3 toughest players you've seen while covering the Stars?
Interesting.
Number 1, Paul Cotter.
Toughest?
There were some times where I remember it was a Lancers game. He was thrown out, I think, 12 minutes into the first period because he's that guy that obviously, he's a bigger guy, power forward, but he stood up for players.
Okay. It's before my time, so I'm genuinely curious. I wouldn't have expected.
Colin Peters was another one. He went to Ohio State, I believe, and then I think he came back 1 year. And then from early days, I would have to say Brandon Bollig or David Backus. I mean, that's the kind of the cliche answer, but I mean, being a kid, that was always the fun ones to watch. So
yeah, to me, Brandon Bollig is the definitive Lincoln Star.
Yep,
you look at everything, production, scoring, fighting, everything. He is the definitive Lincoln Star.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because Dominic Marsh was a big guy. Went to Wisconsin. I think he broke one of Bollig's records. It might have been penalty minutes.
No kidding.
and Bollig was like, it's about time somebody breaks my record. But it's just always kind of fun where, guys from 15, 20 years ago still kind of pay attention to things they did here in Lincoln.
It's really black and blue hockey for a reason. Yep. A little bit of everything, the physicality and the scoring. Well, Tim, thank you for being part of the show here tonight. Looking forward to seeing you here at the Icebox. Should be fun ones this weekend.
It should be. We talked about it earlier. Just clinch it at home. That if you're going to win the Anderson Cup, it'd be better to do it at the Icebox.
Absolutely.
Sooner the better.
That would be the hope. So getting 6 points this weekend would certainly help a lot with that. That's Tim Gray. He's with the Lincoln Journal-Star. You can check out all his work there. I'm Joel Norman. We'll see you at the Icebox Saturday at 6, and then again on Monday for St. Patrick's Day at 7. This has been Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket.